Hello, folks. Welcome back to Big Nerf Gaming. Big Nerf, it's Torment. Last time, we got a lot of interesting lore by talking to a couple people. Today, hopefully, we'll have a little more to happen. So let's east or south. Let's go south
You want
first.
a job done right.
There's a seer. Gotta eat. I've got a little donation. Hey, okay, arms merchant, but I don't need to see an arms merchant. I have arms. Oh, what the hell is that? Why is there some proto-insane... It's like a beholder on steroids. He's got little needles, injectors in his arms. No, thank you. No, thank you at all. Every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound robes and furs. A hood obscures its head and a mask conceals its face. It crushes a cracked ancient scroll with dark fingers. It notices you and gently taps its similarly dressed companion on the shoulder, leaving a smudge of fibrous ink, surprise and embitterment. Felinda recognized the thief at once, the creature says, crossing his swaddled arms. Perhaps he imagined that by speaking with Ceresi, he would evade Felinda's notice. Fortunately for him, nothing ever did. Watch Ceresi work. The merchant spread-fingered hands glide over a faded parchment with the faint sound of squill scratching. Vibrant letters and an unfamiliar tongue appear in their wake. Watch them. The merchant passes a hand over the page. You hear a scrape of a quill on paper. Dark letters emerge from the shadow of that hand as pulled from beneath the page. A little longer. Okay, we're in a duplicate world. Why is your partner narrating me? Cersei either ignores you or does not hear you. Why don't you talk? Farewell. I, Felinda. Every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound ropes and furs. A hood obscures its head and a mask conceals its face. It doesn't stop you from noticing that it's apparently furious with you. Trembling, it bats at its similarly dressed companion. Both of them turn impassive malice back to you. Neither Felinda nor Ceresi could believe it, but the thief had come back. He had come in shame. Ready to turn where he had naked? No, his hands were empty, his expression baffled. Perhaps the thief had simply forgotten what he had to return what he had borrowed, but this made him no less a thief. You must have had the previous inhabitant of this body. What did he take? The thief asks. Felinda faltered, but only for a moment. The merchant's memory was as organized as a library shelf, and remembered his face, twisted with desire for the very book of question. Remembered the same voice making promises apparently had no intent of keeping. Felinda thought the thief's lives were more convincing before. 10 years ago, this thief had borrowed a book. Felinda wondered if the scoundrel was possibly unfamiliar with the definition of the word. Did not mean taking a thing and keeping it after all. Cersei pointedly returns to work, ignoring you both. Felinda sighs, massaging his temples with gloved hands. But in the end, Felinda took a deep breath and asked the thief to simply return the sealed and long overdue book with the 5-colored sigil on its cover. I'll find the book. I got you, the thief declared, and Felinda was satisfied, temporarily. Why do you narrate everything I say? The thief said, but Felinda knew from long experience that there was no explaining it. The merchant kneels before a bookshelf and jams book after book in the remaining space. The frustrated Felinda, after all. The two merchants were creatures of words, bound in metal and cloth, but whenever Felinda tried to bend these words into explanations and answers, they crumbled and fell apart. They cannot fold themselves around the truth. And so Felinda said nothing. Once again, Felinda was exonerated. The thief knew he was a thief. Why won't you tell me why you're narrating everything I say? The thief pleaded. He still did not say that Felinda wasn't speaking. That the thief was hearing was the passage of time. All right.
Making a note.
So I've got a quest. Oh, this guy knows Rin. This kid. Rin, the boy shouts, throwing out his arms to hug her. You're safe. He steps back, looking up and down. Hello, rude boy. This is Otero, she tells you, a scrounger. We met outside of town. He helped me, but then he left. She glares at him like she's trying to knock him over, right before that woman stole me. His eyes widened. Slavers, tell me they didn't. They did. I told you what happened if you brought me to them, didn't I? But I didn't bring them. I told you I wouldn't do that. I was mad, but I wouldn't. I didn't. You traded fair. I was just mad that I left and forgot. Nothing more. Tell me the truth, I don't think he's rude to sell out a friend. Well, I still don't know if I can trust him. He is a very rude boy. He stares at her, chewing his lip, clearly trying to work with the courage to talk to her, to convince her or something. Finally, with a wry twist of his mouth, he turns back to you. Look, he says, running a hand over his stubbled scalp. You hide it well, but I can tell you're new here. I ain't trying to offend you, but I don't like leaving new folk new to Sagas on their own. If you have questions about the city, or Circus Minor in particular, I'll answer them free of charge. Of course, it looks like you already have a guide, he says, nodding his Calestige. Calestige? Why is this freshie traveling with her? She scares the tulk out of me. Hello, dear, your companion says politely before turning to you. Ortero knows the city better than almost anyone. It's quite a lot like him to give anything away for free, let alone the terribly valuable advice. Do take him up on this offer. Oh, wow. Calestige is like that guy. Oh, well, you might as well get all this stuff. Do you live here? Not really. Wall's nice, but they keep you in one place. I like to move around more. Don't like being here much, really. Skitty folk are scarier than scoundrels. Don't have a home? Don't need one. Carry my life with me. Pats his bags. The cult of the changing god. Well, you're not going to be able to miss them. They're camped around that weird clock on the other side of the square. What do you want with those carcass anyway? They owe you something? Just need to ask you a few questions. Fair enough. Even carkers get it right sometimes. Order of Truth. Been there. North. Also, based game specifically on where you would put the guy who could tell you where everything is, I'm assuming that I'm finally near the front door of this damn city and can possibly go south out this motherfucker. We're in Circus Minor now. Yeah, the heart of the city. Levies and politicians will tell you that Government Square is the center of Sagas Cliffs, but they're not thinking right. When folks come to Sagas, they come here. They talk, they trade, flirt, and fight, tell stories. Everyone who comes here leaves different. Anyway, what do you want to know? What's happening on that stage? An execution. Jesus Christ. It'll be going for a few days yet. All those folks have to learn great truths from the nightmares of a dying man. It's not worth my time, but it might be worth yours if you haven't seen one before. You know around here know how to fix complex machinery? Prada. It's the bug lady in the market. It's pretty good at machines. Might ask her for advice. Otherwise, you want to visit the foremen in the underbelly. They might be able to fix it if they can stop fighting long enough. What are you doing here anyway? Well, I was looking for Rin. Was worried, alright, but now that I know she's safe, I guess I can get going. Rin exhales sharply, but doesn't otherwise respond. You look over. Her arms are folded, and she's setting her eyes in as fiercely if it's hiding secrets from her. Ask about something else. I can tell you about the city. Depends what you want to know. I spent most of my time in Circus Minor, but there's other districts too. The bunch of places you've been. There's the Reef of Fallen Worlds. You've already been down there. How do you know that? Tell me about that. Only carker slaves, bullies, and diggers desperate for scrounge go there. And you, of course. Besides, folks get haunted by ghosts from the previous worlds, and I've seen enough down there to agree with them. It's dangerous enough without worrying about ghosts. Coro, he's a local scholar-glass. Came up with a corpse over his shoulder, bragging that he was the one who didn't. Yep, that was me. Right, he says. He blinks and then stares at you, the ground, and you again. Wait, how did you? You had a hole in your... No, never mind. I'll assume it was a trick and you got away clean. You have, like... Yeah, okay. One over the Canaversari. Port of Sagas. Any ship that can fly lands there, makes their trades, and takes over foreign lands. Plenty to see right here in Sagas. I don't know why people insist on leaving. Cliff's Edge? Damn dangerous place to live. Folks build their houses out in the ledge over the sea. Everyone gets upset when one of them falls. It's been getting worse lately. Watch your feet up there. Underbelly. It's an underground place where the city sent everyone they don't like. Cannibal occultists, mutants, carkers, and thugs. Now it stinks like burning metal and cooking meat. That's the underbelly. And Government Square. I did. Bet you can guess what's up there. Can I find a place to sleep around here? The cult of the changing god might let you sleep in their camp, or you can try the Tranquility's Rest in the Canaversari. Okay. Cool. Let's see.
I am the very soul of
Execution going on over there. The Reef of the Fall. Okay, so we found our exit, folks. So let's continue to explore Circus Minor for now. What is with this thing? This large, broad... What the hell? This large, broad-shouldered man turns to face you, freeze. It's not his dark cloak or a sledgehammer that is that beneath his mustache and goatee. Certainly that he scares his own mother in a dark alley. Gives you an abrupt nod. A distinct impression that here stands a man who enjoys the boredom of standing guard in the company of his own thoughts. Slow day, good. Nothing wrong with a slow day. Nothing to see here until you pale. Jinko says when it's clear you aren't moving on. He returns with his gaze through distant sea. What's in the cage, boss? A nice Themerion. Eldritch would tell you about it. How did you capture it? Long story. Ask El Gento, he's the talker. I watch it. How does that cage hold the prisoner? Don't know. El Gento built it. Where do your partner come from? He exhales softly through his nose, giving you the distinct impression that you were making him work harder than he liked. Lorik, a city in the beyond, packed with blood-mad priests, giant razor cats, and drit. Lots of drit. I don't miss it, but El Gento does. If you want stories, he's the one to ask. Says we're going back. Won't be a good day for Lorik if we do. I think he does all the work in your partnership. He should. Kind of do so, scowling at you really for a moment. The roiling temper beneath the man's turban calm. He's the largest share. I'm the muscle. He's the... the finish. He's a handyman. He's handy at building stuff, wrangling extra shins from the gawkers. Charming free food. He works hard. I paid him an extra share so I don't have to, so I have time to think. I mean, I know El Gento's right here, but what the hell? Okay, I have a few questions about the city. Ask somebody who lives here. We're not experts in any city and don't want to be. Can anybody repair a device? Don't know anything like that. We are from around here. Alright, cool. Let's ask the handyman. Funny view to a weary traveler whose grim visage is mostly obscured by a pointy hat. Upon closer inspection, the lines on his face indicate he's seen much and has many tales to tell. Hello there, friend. Here to see the Nashthemirian? My friend in the cave over there? Or are you looking to just spend a word or two? I have some questions about it. It's far from mine, my friend. As you like to see if I get too close to the cage, go on, ask your questions. What is it? Biomechanical union of stubborn curiosity and frothing malice. Who made them, no one can say, but they're not going to be trusted or befriended. Cross their paths or thwart their incomprehensible rhythms, and they'll kill you if they can. Said he. Is it a male? Could be female or genderless or many gendered. Who can say? I have our friend in prison, and I feel better about that fact if I don't call him it. Okay. How did you capture him? With a highly experimental trap, my own design, some luck, and the unexpected falling of night. You plan on doing it when you're done showing it off. I'd like to release it and run as every kind of the demon in the world that's after us. We're not trappers, see? We're explorers. We're only in this to save up some coin for a journey across a long patch of ground. Not that our motives make much difference to our guest. He'll want to boil our skins once we let him go. I can't say I blame him. We should do it at night. But even then, I expect he'll try to kill us. Okay. Canadu told me a little about your past. Do you have any interesting stories? Interesting? Well, I'll let you be the arbiter of that, my friend. We'd like to hear about. You come from a place called Lorik. Ah, my former and future home. Canadu and I were born in the gray outskirts of the city. I like to say that we were childhood friends when we weren't. We simply came to know each other through what we lost. The priests of the million gods of Lorik wandered the streets seeking sacrifices you see, and opposing them is a sin. In our first 10 years, they claimed our parents, then our friends, then one day, a pockmarked priest came for me. He hauled me up the glass-paved streets. I wept and screamed, but the faithful and the fearful turned away. I almost lost heart when I heard the hammer scraping on the glass. Up charged Canadu, bearing his father's sledgehammer. With a shout, he dashed the priest's brains from his skull and we ran. We've been running ever since. We will return one day, I think, armed for the occasion. Worked on the Nightthemerion. Nightthemerion? Nike. By Nike. By not Nightth. Nightthemerion. It has to work in Lorik. I know it will. What happened after you escaped Lorik? Years of struggle. Years without measure. After Lorik, we lived from meal to meal, eating only what we could steal. Canada grew into a strength and I grew, but less obviously. I began studying, you see. I read ancient texts about my lost home, about the sickness that it possessed of the city. To this day, I thought about how I could cure it. He says, clenching his fist. So we began exploring ruins. We sold broken relics we found for food and equipment, kept the interesting ones for future study. Tell you of all the adventures we had in those days. It would take almost as many years as I've been alive, if not more. But if that doesn't make sense to you, then you have not traveled far into the depths of beyond. Some of the ruins there lie outside time, and we saw. He follows, reclaims the thread of his thoughts. We searched countless places for the components I needed for my trap. Yes, the one our guests contained it. And we headed east into the Clock of Kala. Lawminders, the Sarek of Yorag, the Iron Wind, we're multiply lucky to be alive. Clock of Kala. A ring of mountains between here and the beyond, a land of glorious and lethal wonders. I'm looking forward to going through it again. We easily spent a decade searching the base of the peaks for the final parts of the trap. Last we heard a rumor, a horde of ghosts occasionally stampeded through the lands of Augur Kala bearing relics, smearing reality in their wake. The last detail was what interested me. I created a device, bell of sorts, that would attract the ghost's attention, and when they came, there stood Canadu, hammer ready. The bell drew them, you see, but it also made them more real. Canadu waded into the ghosts, striking them down. The rest fled, but we had found the materials needed for the trap. The trap will use to capture a god. Beneath Loricus lies a mad being who demands the sacrifice of mothers, fathers, and children. Once we free our guest, he will return home with his trap. He'll use it to kidnap a god or die trying. That is badass. Why can't I be involved in that? Thank you for taking interest in old man stories. I like to return the favor. Normally we charge quite a bit for visits to the Nectamarian's caves, but you, my friend, can see it for free. He gives Canadu a complicated whistle. The big man raises his eyebrows, rolls his eyes, and nods. Very complicated device. You must be in a desperate shape. Patrolling the circus, talking to strangers. Do you have a piece of advice that I might offer you my opinion? A new device, perhaps I can use to improve the trap. Yes, I have this shard of crystal. Because the crystal shard with great care, turning it over and over in his cracked hands. In silence, you catch a hint of a wood smoke, notice his eyes have turned to slate gray. Living crystal, he mutters at last. Seeking a greater whole, still warm. Alive, maybe? Maybe thinking. Interesting piece of tech, but not one I know much about. Sorry, friend, try asking around some more. Not a piece of tech I can use either. Oh, well. Asked about the Nighterion again. Okay. So, alright, I talked to him. I can visit him. I don't know why. Good. Wait. Good, he says. It's good. It doesn't say why you're still talking to him. Okay. I'll just click interact. In the cage, with the creature floats a simple frame that contains a shimmering, nearly transparent cylinder of energy. It emits a low hum, barely audible, and sets your teeth on edge. The container has a delicate filigree of ornate materials with no apparent controls, but surely they must be hidden somewhere within the traces and protrusions of the wirework. You approach the cage cautiously. The monster within looks like a fungal blob matted with a muscular ichthyard. Its multiple tentacles terminate in syringes, needles, and injectors. This mass sits atop, integrated with a floating orb of some type that seems to be both mechanical and biological. One system flowing smoothly into the next that creates some mad nightmare. The energy field darkens practically automatically as the creature throws itself at walls, thrashing mindlessly with needle-tipped appendages, darkening its almost a strobe-like effect. Even if you watch, one of the tentacles coils back and blasts fierce plasma at the walls of the cage. The cage holds with the shields to dim to prevent any radiation from blasts escaping. Examine the cage. Oh, I'm not touching it. The cage appears to be a mixture of synth, spun strong glass, and lightweight material, integrally embroidered to create mind-warping patterns, evocative and strange. The energy shifts and flickers amongst the crevices, somehow being shaped by the form of the materials. A closer examination reveals a small paddle worked cunningly into the frame of the cage. Some of the filigrees here are worn smooth as if slowly eroded by friction. Perhaps these are controls. Step back from the cage. I'm not touching it. What are you? If anything, the creature redoubles its effort to strike at you. Slims a flurry of rage. How did you come to be here? Goes away from the edge of the energy field a moment, as if gathering its thoughts, and then launches itself, rebounding the deceptively solidity of the cage. Its tentacles flail. Sorry. wildly, the needles at their tips glinting and oozing. What can you tell me of this place? A dim light builds underneath the next Themerion. The orbit is base growing brighter and brighter. Two tentacles stroke it, and they pull out a streamer of bright lightning. They stretch it between themselves, building it intensity, and they hurl it at you. The walls of the cage darken instantly. When they lighten again, you see the monster within flailing and crashing fruitlessly against its invisible walls. Can you understand me at all? It redoubles steps. Okay, cool. Let's talk to Executor guy. A stout middle-aged man stands atop an execution platform. He wears the badge of a city official, and the fringe dreadlocks hangs down to his shoulders from his otherwise bald pate. He gives you a disinterested look as you approach. Please stay back with the others. What's going on here, boss? Prisoner, Risa Flatwater is being publicly executed as a warning to all those who would flout the laws of Sagas Cliffs. What's his crime? Treason. He stole state secrets to the enemies of Sagas Cliffs. How does the execution work? Another rustic. It's very simple, sir. Our nanos induce him in a hallucinogenic state. In this state, he experiences visions, nightmares, really. He speaks of the things he sees, and words become flesh as they leave his mouth. We shape the flesh into a human-like form. The death you see beside him. Gestures towards the hideous figure, which seems to be made of rotting viscera. As more strands escape his mouth, his death wraps them around him, and slowly they crush the life out of him. That's freaking nutty. Once the condemned is dead, the devourer of wrongs, I assume the guy in the back, will eat his corpse. Jesus. Thus justice is upheld in Sagas Cliffs. Well, what do his words mean? I believe there is wisdom to be gained from the rantings of the uncondemned, but I've never gleaned any. Others say that the torment of the condemned means nothing but it deters would-be criminals from committing offenses of their own. I've never noticed that to be true either. Why does he eat them? He is of the Dendra O'Hare, who could suck the memories of the dead from their marrow. And those memories is not only the proof that the condemned were guilty, but also the names of their compatriots and other associates. Many an accomplice has been found in the belly of the devourer. Sure, Riss wasn't working alone. We'll find all his friends soon enough. Who are you? I mean, overseer of capital punishment, charged by council with organizing public executions to make sure they run smoothly.
I am the very soul of action.
Okay. Interesting, this dude, like, I've got nothing I can do here. Oh, let's talk to this guy. There's a named guy in the back. Facing the edge of the crowd is a paunchy old soldier with a swaggering stride. At the moment, however, his jauntiness seems overshadowed by worry. He alternates between watching execution and searching the crowd as if for a miracle, and his eyes land on you. I've never seen his face before. This might just be the break I need.
I say, you look like someone who believes in justice. How'd you like to help a poor soul wrongfully condemned?
What kind of help do you need? I don't need anything. My friend there on the platform is dying. The nightmares his executioners have induced him spill from him with every line he speaks and wrap around him like a snake. For 3 days, the coils are wrapped around him tighter and tighter. Today, they will choke the life out of him. I can't imagine a more horrible way to die. Well, that's not true of an imagination that would shame a sailor. We need to be swift and willing to hold justice above law, but there's a way to save him if you'll hear me out. Who are you? Captain Lacan Tibir retired. He said it was a little battle, extremely retired. Once a soldier of fortune, now it's a plaything. But my story can wait. Saving Riz's life comes first. Why is he being executed? A misunderstanding. Riz and I were hired to deliver some expensive brandy to an out-of-town buyer. He breathes a sigh, weighted with disgust and regret. Would you believe the bottles were stuffed with state secrets? Riz was accused of selling information to the enemies of Sagas Cliffs. They called him a traitor. It was a travesty, Grounds, eyes blazing with righteous fury. The poor lad had no idea what was in there. Tragic. If he had known, he might have escaped too, but then we wouldn't be in on this mess. But you did, right? Well, he says, setting the air over his shoulder, there's a place to talk about what I know and don't. That isn't the place. If you were part of the scheme, why don't you go up there with him? Luck? He's taking a piss where they came for him. Went through the back window and scampered up to the roof. I watched poor Riz being led away from my hiding spot. I swear I'd get him free. It's a promise I hope I can keep. Why are you helping him? Friendship not reason enough? He declares, and his shoulders sag, and he hangs his head. Actually, truth to tell, it's more than that. I'm partly to blame for him being up there. Guilt is a strong motivator, huh? I want to talk to your friend. Are you mad? It's an execution. He's surrounded by levies. They only let you near him. If they did, head of his head, you'll get nothing but gibberish from him. Even if he doesn't speak gibberish, no, best to assume it's gibberish. Still want to try. As you wish. Don't say I didn't warn you, levies are not to be trifled with. What's your plan? A simple one, but requires nerve. Listen, it would be nothing if someone of your noble demeanor to masquerade as a city official and ask the council clerk for an archived copy of an old stay of execution. Once you have it, I'll write out a fresh one and add Riss's name. Then we'll present it to the overseer here, and poor Riss will be set free. It sounds like an extremely risky plan. Nonsense. Couldn't be simpler. Just be calm, confident, and wear a winning smile. He gives you a winning smile. Would we simply just talk to the guy of the execution, convince him to rise up and free Reese? You're welcome to try, friend, but leave me out of it. Side slips are notoriously bloodthirsty, and the execution officials are not known for their sense of humor. You might regret it later, and you'd be alone when you did. Too many unknowns in a scheme like that, not enough escape routes. I know where to find the council clerk. I'll help you. Or I will say I'll help you. Then you need a proper story and a badge of office. Unfortunately, I have the first, and you can buy the second from Sangolin, the clothing merchant in Government Square. Once you have the badge of office, you will tell the council clerk you are from the Judicial Oversight Committee looking into corruption and commutation of capital sentences. What you're asking for is that of a notorious gangster named Cole Cardin, who was mysteriously set free a few years ago. If you get Cole's stay of execution, I'll make a copy with there's a name on it. You could give it to the overseer who will free him. See, simple. I'd happily join you to show you around the city and help you with all this, but it seems you've got quite the crowd already. If your entourage ever dwindles, stop by and let's lend my not inconsiderable talents to the cause.
Making a note.
Okay.
Ready.
Plenty of map here, my goodness. In the shadows cast by the folds of this merchant's cowl, you glimpse hints of verdant chitin and amber mandibles erupting from pale human flesh. Her voluminous robes cannot hide that fact that her movements are off, as if too many joints inhabit too little space. But her voice is warm, tumbling flood of spoken thoughts and impulses. Fair afternoon to you. Warm, isn't it? Something begins humming in one of her many pockets, and her brilliant, multifaceted eyes flicker towards an invisible point in the difference. Well, not as warm as it could be, but this is the warmest minute of the week by a considerable margin. She trails off, but the hum continues. Oh, you have one of those tattoos too, anyway. Can I see you with some prime artifacts? Dusty relics, a Numenera of uncertain origin? Looks like that pale woman. No, you're right, Birdie. Not looks, smells. Oh, wow. Okay. Never visited this. I'm done asking about the city. I'm going to ask to see if it triggers anything new. Okay, it does. No. I'll do better than that. Tell me anything about this place that worries you and I'll make it better. That's a guarantee. We do love to help, don't we, Runda? Part of the city that shall I see first? All of it, take from me. Everything is worth seeing, even the boring bits. Take your time and talk to everyone you meet. Keep your eyes open. That's generally my plan. Any dangerous areas I should avoid? Not at all. I heard so many rumors about how the underbelly was ruled by vicious thugs. When I went down there to make a trade, no one so much as glared at me. Of course, they were probably worried I was going to stiff their heads off, but the underbelly is fascinating and worth the risk. Most everywhere is. What about something else? You appear to be transforming into an insect. I know, isn't it fantastic? I think it might be called by intermittent fields of the Numenera I use to organize my thoughts. Well, the ones I'm selling? Maybe all of them? You never know how a variety of ciphers will interact with each other. They're such fun. Play with the Numenera you use to organize your thoughts? Oh, it's simple, sort of. Prada pulls out three tiny Numenera from her robes. A buzzing bird figurine, a green music box, and a circular string. So many thoughts, if I tried to hold them all in one brain, I'd just stand and drool, you know? So each of these have a slightly different purpose. Which one do you want to hear about? The bird figurine. Birdie's pretty simple. If I'm running with a great thought that I don't have time to complete, I shunt it to her so I can pick it back up later. She does make everything smell like berries, though. The music box. Jade box is a tough old lady. If I'm rolling with more complex line of thinking, I bring her up and she chomps the individual ideas and feeds them back to me. I try to use her as little as possible because she gives me headaches. No, what's the opposite? Head eases? Anyway, they're worse than headaches because you can't go around thinking everything's alright. Bad for your health. And the spring. That's Rounda. She's a bit scary. I can turn a bunch of thoughts into her, but she doesn't process them. She just gives them back to me slightly changed, infinitely better than when they went in. I try not to use her much. It feels like cheating. Buy one. Hate to say no, but I've had them since I was little. They're practically family. Okay. I'm looking for somebody who can repair a complex machine. Can you help? Oh, I'd love to. Complex machines are my favorite, but no, I shouldn't. I'm really behind on work orders this month. It may surprise you, but I'm very, very easily distracted. You better offer something else. Someone else. Sorry. Sure you can't help me fix something? Quadruple sure. Jeez. Said someone else had the tattoo. Ooh. Oh, right. Pale lady. She wanted me to fix an artifact of hers, but I couldn't make any sense of it. And that's rare, believe me. I felt so sorry for her. To tell you the truth, she seemed sad like she lost something and was never going to get it back. She wouldn't say what she lost when I asked her. I know I could have helped. Do yourself. Let's see. A bunch of ways to blow people up, it looks like. Oh. Ooh. I think. Yeah, I can afford this. I'm picking up this. Oh no, I'm at my cipher limit. Put that over there. And yeah, bam. Oh, small substantial of a handsome-ass cunningly carved, something resembling music placement, filling the minds of the user in a talent with open belief that victory is not only possible, but inevitable, no matter what odds they're facing. The statue is centuries old, rumored to be infused with the mental essence of the legendary Francisco Flamebait fiddler from the Fords. Hell was known for being a trickster, but his performances detailing tall tales of extraordinary exploits could inspire great confidence in others. I'm gonna buy that because that's like
I like
the
your
free
dress.
rest without
It's very colorful.
losing the 12
Do
hours.
you, dear? It was always my favorite.
It makes you and all the different yous look like a flock of giant birds.
Your first compliment was sufficient, thank you.
Oh, I didn't mean to talk to the kid. He like ran in the way of that. The child skids to a halt, rubbed his forehead with a grabby forearm, leaving arrow tracks of dirt across his ruddy skin. Hey, Shuva, never seen you before. You call me Shuva, what does that mean? Huh? Jerem says, really, you never heard it? Has that changed, too? No. I never splashed colors his cheeks. Doesn't seem like he's afraid of you, though. I mean, it's not really, it's a nickname for adults. Jerem glasses glances at your face and goes for it. Some adults are nice to kids, hey, pat the head, here's a flower, a bit of nash, whatever. But some aren't so nice, they shove us aside when they're in the way. Kids remember themselves more than smiles, so, shove. I don't understand. How can a place be the same, but so not? So this kid has gone through time, probably. Why are you playing in the market? Do you like playing in the market? Not always, but better than school, eh? I like watching Zalfie make sculptures, and the ones that go sharp and curly. It reminds me of the monster in the sky of Scarrow Hall. Whoa. What is Scarrow Hall? Yeah, Sheva. It's a building in the center of town, 1,000 hands tall, with a mirror on the side like Zalfie's sculpture, but flat, and in a purple rock. Don't think you're going to miss it if you're looking for it, eh? A wave of dizziness clutches at you when you close your eyes to steady yourself. You kneel in a basement amid rotting rolls of carpet and broken furniture, a stack of paintings draped in dust and mold leaning against the sweating wall. The painting in front displays the building Jerem was speaking of. But through this body, this mind, you remember that it was torn down centuries ago to build a forgotten ruler's palace. I was about to say, I went through this whole city and I don't remember what the hell he's talking about. The stink of the basement flees your nostrils as you open your eyes. Jerem, fidgeting, has looked away to examine an instrument stall nearby. Why are you so dirty? I don't know. Pasha and Kellenor, you wash twice a day. I guess the dirt likes me, hey? Don't your parents worry about you running around here? My parents? You mean Paja and Kellenor? They're watching me until my Mard and Ciro come back for me. Mard and Ciro? Huh? Jerem says, looking at his puzzle, you ask him what his hands are for. Marge, Ciro, my parents, you asked me about them. Paja and Kellenor are taking care of me until they come back. That's another one, isn't it? No wonder Paja doesn't like me talking to people. Anamnesis, the words taking memory. Eyelids flutter end. You see hands, not yours, carefully turning the crackling pages of an ancient book. The roving eye catches the words mad and Ciro, old words for mother and father. Blinking hard, you focus on Jerem once more. He's not appeared to have noticed your sudden fatigue, but he's not looking at you either. Keep using words I don't recognize. Where did you hear them? Not allowed to tell adults about that, or about where I'm from. His gaze steals to Paja and Kellenor, both of whom are suddenly taking a greater interest in the conversation. Don't ask, hey? I'm in so much trouble, I'm not even sure what I did. I'm not an adult, Rin says cheerfully, and you can trust him. He knows all sorts of secrets and never tells anyone. Oh, Jerem says, chewing his lip. I guess I could tell you, but you can't send it around, right? Nice, Rin. This having a kid and the party thing is working out surprisingly well, at least while we're still in town. We'll see what happens when danger comes. Here's Shava, he says, brow crinkling in frustration. I'm from here. It is up in chains without me. I grew up in the Downs. My parents lost their spots when the war came and we went to sleep hungry more and more. Neither of them could look at me without crying, but everyone in the Downs was starving. It wasn't anything new. People started using that archway more and more. Oh, the House of Empty Time. I bet you walked into there. The Downs have changed too. I can see it on his face. What are the Downs? You weren't in the families in the up. Everywhere else with the Downs. Inside the wreckage. We dig deep looking for food first. Warm second. My neighbor was inside this curvy spiral. If you see paintings of seashells like that, I knew it. What's wrong with this place? Tell me about that archway you mentioned. Big thing. Always good smells coming out of it too, like roasting meat in sunny days. I used to watch it, but I was never sure what it was for, you know? Then the parents in the Downs never talked much about it either. Then one morning I saw Koina, a friend of mine, and her Mard go up. Mard gives her a kiss, sends her through, and Corbin never came out. You know what did though? Food. Ah, no. That'd be cool for Corner's Mard to lose her girl and gain a meal. No, it was a metal ring, he says, lowering his voice to a confidential whisper. Didn't look to be worth much, but every once in a while, you'd hear Corner laughing. Wherever she was happy, right? He raises his hand to his cheek, then continues. Handful of days pass, and my Mard takes me for a walk too. She says he'd find me when they'd save the money, kiss me, and push me through it. Woke up outside another archway up in Government Square. Paja and Kellenor were waiting for me there. They're not so bad, but I keep hoping my parents will stop by to visit, even if they don't have the money yet, right? I try to laugh a lot so they can hear me, though. Damn. Messed up. Alright, let's talk to the adults. A couple stands together, their shared gaze fixed away from you. No words pass between them. Instead, they share a silent language of tenderness. Their bodies turn subtly towards each other, forming a private space between them. His hand reaches for hers. Without looking, she claims it. Still looking past you, they smile together. His is a curvy line carved in oak. Hers is an unabashed, radiant as a lantern on a starless night. She's so beautiful. I do we're a good home for him. Turning, you see the object of their attention, a young boy darting between the stalls and playing in the dust. Each distant, exhilarated shout widens their respective miles and tightens their grip on each other. Jerem told me all the door he went through to get here. What's happening? You had to pry, didn't you? Kellenor growls. Calm down, Kel, Pasha says, putting her hand on his chest. Stranger, can we convince you to leave this alone, please, for the sake of our family? If Jerem finds out, I'm terrified to think what will happen. I just want to know what's going on here. I won't tell anyone. She bites her lip and searches her eyes. Kellenor's hand slides over her shoulder to cup the back of her neck. Maybe you're true to your word, and maybe you're not. The more we argue, the more likely Jerem will overhear. Her eyes shift to you, wary and despairing. Nice. Oh, he did go through the House of Empty Time. Jerem got here through the House of Empty Time. He comes from Sagas like us, only centuries in the past. That's why his speech is different. Why he remembers places that aren't here anymore. Keep this to yourself. We'll tell him ourselves when we find a way of letting a child know that everyone he knows and loves is long dead in dust. I'll kick this kick out of him if he breaks my little boy's heart. I'll be the one to tell him that you shouldn't soon. You're right, and we will, promise. I'm mostly interested here because of the House of the Empty Time. We don't know any more than we told you. Find the house's keeper and ask her. Her name was. She trails off, her forehead creased in thought. Alison Perry. Keeper of the House of Empty Time. You might find her in Government Square. Oh, baby. Thank you, Kel. I couldn't hold on to a name if it was buried in a bag of shins. Anyway, the very moment we decided to adopt, she was knocking on our door. We were nervous, but you can't argue with the results. Oh my god, that is so cool! Okay. We're stopping right here in Circus Minor. We're going to see this person in Government Square. House of the Empty Time is by far the most interesting thing. Just the name. And now, like, whatever it's doing, like, this is... Okay, I'm, like, thoroughly interested. We're almost done exploring the city, folks.
Of course.
Maybe in the next, like, 3 episodes, we'll probably get into a fight at some point. At least one, right? Okay. Let's look around. Irritor, no. Oh, not pressing tab. Alison Perry. Ellie interacted with this, interacted with a bunch of this stuff. This woman seems to be absorbed by what she's doing. Her blue eyes narrowed and concentrates. You realize she's the nicest looking person you've seen in a while. You feel almost compelled to approach her. She takes out the golden cloth she's examining and holds it up to the light. Such beautiful colors, she murmurs. They look lovely on you. In fact, she leans back from her and looks up and down mentally. She nods to herself as if pleased. As I thought, no touch of her motherly nature to you. She offers you a sweet, shy smile. We're going to get along just fine. And you, she turns to Rin, crouching down to the same level. Wait, what's this? She reaches behind Rin's ear. When Rin turns to look at what she's doing, Alison taps her lightly on the nose. Rin laughs. Alison smiles. Such a gem. Yours? She glances up at you. Her expression softens at the look on your face. She stands and takes your hands in hers. You're a good person, she says. Simply looking into your eyes as if willing you to believe it, then she lets go. A foster girl. So few are willing to open their hearts these days. Tell me about this place. Of course, Government Square, blah blah blah. None of that's important. Or you might not. This place where secrets are traded. Having a few secrets of my own, I make it before a visitor. Who are you? I know who she is. My name is Alison Perry. You can call me Alison if you like. I'm a chirurgeon, but I work mostly with children, you know, healing scraped knees and the occasional broken bone. We're lucky here in Sagas that there's rarely anything more serious. What are you doing? Waiting for an appointment, she says with a tentative smile. Heard you're the keeper of the House of the Empty Time. Ah, she glances at Rin and then bows her head for some moments before meeting your gaze again. What do you want to know? Oh, hell no, I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to give the girl up. How does the House of Empty Time work? A child enters the gate and emerges another time to find a new family waiting for them. Willing parents register with the keeper in their own time period, and after rigorous questioning, have their names added to the gate itself. After that, who knows? The children have loving families, and those families have children to love. Why is it a secret? Because it's not the strongest system in the world. No one knows how many trips the old thing can stand. So we use it only for those who really have nowhere else to go. And if everyone knew about it, some of them would treat it the same way they do other orphanages. We'd find babies dumped in boxes, small children left crying with nothing but the clothes on their backs. She realizes Rin is watching her and growing hard as it makes an obvious effort to stop herself. She breathes deeply and then smiles at Rin. You can see her hands are shaking slightly with the effort of controlling her anger. So we keep the gate for children who really do need it. You understand? You mean orphans. She watches the way you and Alison are looking at her. Good thing I'm not one of them. Alison smiled and said nothing. I often forget how the truth can affect children. Still, it's better than a lie. Are you in charge of the House of Empty Time? Because I walked through it, yes. So yes, I was an orphan, and yes, I'm from another time. One much earlier than the present. As a child, I had the unique pleasure of being able to read history books and imagine that my real parents were the heroes of ages past. And before you ask, my parents in this time were dead, but we spent many happy years together, and I will always be thankful for the life they gave me. As for the gate itself, when I am dead, or hopefully before, it will choose a new guardian from those who have passed through it, and I'll have someone to keep me company through the end of my days. It's not a bad bargain, all told. That's cool. I don't want to give up Rin, though. That's weird. New brother or sister, wouldn't that be wonderful? She says to Rin. At the girl's frown, she laughs. I'm afraid not. She just turns her attention back to you. One of the main requirements for adoption is a stable environment. If you ever decide to settle in Sagas, then we can talk. I'm not setting Rin off with through time. But while I'm here, what do you have to sell? I think you have some sort of government something. Or is it a different guy? Was it not? Must not have been here. Must have been some other merchant. That's kind of cool. Can I afford that? No, I can't. Damn. No. Real quick, let's hit the journal. Who do I have to talk to? Oh yeah, no. That's from Sangolin. Official city badge. I have to talk to him in a different way. What do you sell here? Find a city where concerning men and women as well as quality armor for those traveling to less civilized locales. It's also our honor to have been chosen to survive the city of Sagas Cliffs with official badges worn by all properly credentialed city employees. You may trust in their trust in us. Can I buy an official city badge? City badges are not for sale for anyone. They're giving to the duly elected or appointed public service of Sagas Cliffs. It's illegal for me to give them to anyone who does not work for the city. I would be breaking the law. Of course, most public servers do offer me some remuneration for the materials, but no, I would not take the risk or nor betray my trust. Too risky, too risky. 80 exchange with a risk or wager. Let's go with deception. It's made as undersecretary to the overseer of executions. I guess letter of information has to come through. Is that not a problem, is it? Get up to 80. 60. 60. Of course not, sir. I know too well the slowness of city bureaucracy. I'll wrap the badge up for you now.
I'll remember that.
Metal badge meant to be worn by a city official of Sagas Cliffs. Cool. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's something I could do.
Go talk to my homie, the council clerk. Talking about paperwork. I'm just kidding. I'll be honest. Trying to obtain a letter of pardon from a man named Reese and wrongfully sentenced to die. A capital case? Better try to shake the chins out of a Nevarian. The only person who could help you with that is a member of the council, and not just any member. One with enough power to persuade a few colleagues to sign off on some such clemency. If you have such a sponsor, I will submit the necessary paperwork. Good luck. Okay. Okay, cool. So I either come here and lie to him, or return to the council member's favor. Well, ideally, will get myself a council member's favor at some point.
With alacrity.
Okay. Let's see. We are pushing a lot kind of along here. There is no way that
Yes.
starting on anything
Now.
else is going to not take another who knows how long. So we're going to call this episode here. We learned some cool, really cool lore stuff. We got a couple quests.
No, don't cry.
And
I am trying to make you strong.
yeah,
I'm not crying.
we've
This is disbelief.
covered about half of this.
It's a shame to
Area.
have such venom from one so young, dear.
But it's okay for old people like you.
I just missed all that. I talked over it. But anyway, next time we're gonna finish exploring Circus Minor here, and then the time after that, maybe, just maybe, we'll leave town and get into combat. Well, no promises though. We'll see what happens. As always, like and subscribe and all that. And until next time, have a great life, folks.